right, hello and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us. If you're liking the show, please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. If you want to find us on social media, we're on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Casting Roles ILM. Our videos are uploaded on our YouTube channel every Friday. But let's go ahead and start the show. So, ticket takers, after discovering that the city of Azalor is in a deep and permanent slumber, you decided to delve back into the dream and complete the task of gaining your passports so that you could make your way through the city and to the Temple of Azalor. The final task that you needed to complete was the library challenge. And you were guided by a librarian, archivist. There you go. Hildy, who guided you through into the restricted section where you passed through the unlimited biographies session. You went through the magical and arcane section to the heretical apocrypha section, and then found your way to the uncontained fictions section where you realize that Hildy has transposed herself into the perhaps a love affair with the main character of the Virgin Meadows, which is Jury's favorite book. You, while you were there, discovered that a murder had perhaps taken place. It's not clear, except somebody's bleeding. And you followed through that, going through several of the text realms of the uncontained fictions. You met Spence, the stable hand. You then met Mort, the black and white noir detective, and then you all followed the trail of the blood deeper into the woods where you came across the hut of a kind old witch who welcomed you in, tried to charm Marlowe, and Soris discovered was also keeping perhaps future food items in the back in the form of Fabian, the main character from the Virgin Meadows, and two small children. Soris released them. Kaimana dropped a fireball into the house, and the house arose, and Baba Yaga revealed her true form, and you began to do battle. After a little bit of the battle, Baba Yaga transformed herself into a figure from your nightmares in the form of Ahriman's dragon form. And then at the end of battle, and I need to remove her from the board, Hildy and Fabian both were banished from this realm as the house began to hop away.
Mama girl.
So, ticket takers, with that in mind, I think the dragon is flying. So let me put the dragon up. Oh, it doesn't have a pad, so this might not rest. We'll see. She's gonna fall off.
She's unbalanced queen.
There we go. Okay, cool.
If she falls off, she dies.
Them's the breaks. All right. So with that in mind, the hut had just hopped away. And so as we're going, I'll probably be shifting some of the board as the hut is now in a escape mode. It had hopped away, which took it 30 feet in its jump, and then it moves its full distance, taking Kaimana with it technically off the board. And so you guys are about 50 feet, or no, with its full movement, Soris, you're 60 feet away from it. Everyone else, you're much further. So with that in mind, that takes us to Arian, Squall Leader. As the hut is hopping away and the banishment goes off, you just hear Baba Yaga kind of laugh. And then say, well, the librarian will not be able to take me now. And something falls from the house as it's hopping away and kind of clutters into some bushes nearby. Marlowe would pick that up with your perception. So with that in mind, Arian is going to kind of whip around to Baba Yaga and cannot do much from this space. but is going to ready an action in case Baba Yaga moves down into her area. Hildy's out. Mort is going to see if he's
Good for her.
terrified.
Let's go, Mort.
You just watch Mort like fall down and go prone as he's like and goes into fear mode, which takes us back up to the top. So Abel, you're here. What would you like to do in this as the house has hopped kind of over the hill and is out of sight and Baba Yaga's flapping above you?
Can I activate my jetpack?
Sure.
Oof. I'm on off. I think that's an action, right?
It is an action to activate the jetpack. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to fly my full flight speed in that direction.
Okay. What's your full flight speed?
Flying is 35 feet.
20, 25, 30,
I'm gonna-
35.
I'm gonna like whip back around, turn towards the dragon,
Okay.
and fire force ballista at it.
All right. Go ahead.
Come. Oop. Should I? What is she? My beautiful force ballista elephant charges up and fires for a 27 to hit.
That hits.
All right. 3d8. 15 force damage plus another d8 for my arcane firearm, which I've attached my force ballista to.
Okay.
And another 8 damage.
All right. So that's 23 points of damage. All right. You're beginning to see some wear and tear on the dragon form of Baba Yaga. But you're there. All right. That takes us to Saurus.
I am going to use Wholeness of Body to heal up from 11 hit points to 41.
Okay.
Because I need the help, and I'm going to move my full 55 movement after the hut.
Okay. So that's going to take you off of this map. But you will be able to catch up with the hut. Yes. Go ahead.
Since the hut's only 5 feet away at this point, is it possible for me to, at the end of my run, jump and grab a hold of one of the chicken legs? So basically, I'm clinging to the leg.
I think that you could either do that, or if you wanted to clear the jump, the 15-foot jump to the base of the house, you could do that too.
No, I'm jumping on a chicken leg.
Okay, you can go ahead and jump onto the chicken leg, and you're holding on for dear life. And so that'll probably on its turn require some strength checks, but you've got a hold of it.
You ever
Right.
touch a chicken leg? 'Cause that texture feels not
Real
great.
bad.
And it's this one is like
I'm not planning on
tree
staying
trunk.
here long.
All right. Anything else there on your turn, Source? Because that's an action, and then you do your
there's no-
movement. There's bonus actions. Okay, cool. All right. Which takes us to Marlowe over here.
I'm gonna fly up and hit this dragon.
All right. You up here. Go ahead and roll your 3 attacks against the dragon.
Okay. And sorry, I have not used D&D Beyond just roll in a long time, and we're gonna figure out what happened. Okay. Okay, so 13.
13 misses.
Yeah, I thought I would. What about another 13? Would that also miss?
That also misses. So your
Okay.
first 2 strikes kind of cling off of the hard outer scale
Yeah,
of
and
the
a
dragon.
19 also misses.
A 19 also misses.
You have inspiration.
Yeah, that's
also,
so
you
interesting
haven't.
that the one time I roll on D&D Beyond.
You also you have inspiration on
You have
that
an
19 if
inspiration
you want to roll it.
Want to use one? So yeah.
Okay, yeah. What's your inspiration?
A
D10.
D10 now. Yep.
That bumps it to a 23.
That will hit. So your final you clang off
Wow.
of the steel, like the steely outer shell of the dragon, but your third one kind of bites between 2 of the scales, and you do manage to draw blood on the last one.
Okay, so that's going to be 11 slashing damage with. Please let me roll die. Let me roll die. 5 lightning damage.
All right. So that's 16 total.
Great turn. Your turn, everyone.
On the end of your turn, the dragon's going to use a legendary action to shift.
See, but all I did was just kind of prick it with needle. So does the dragon feel the need to do that?
She's going to kind of shift over this direction. Marlo, you can take an attack of opportunity against her as she shifts.
Yeah, I'll do that. That's a 20.
That is the AC, so that hits.
Okay.
Mm.
So that is 12 slashing damage with another 5 lightning damage.
All right, so 17. All right. Any other movement on yours? You used that's probably about 25 feet of movement. You can use the last.
Just follow the dragon.
Okay, you can slide back towards the dragon. All right. Kaimana, you are on the house.
All right, so I'm gonna suggest something to you, Josh, and you tell me what you think I need to do to make this happen.
Okay.
Okay, this is gonna be good.
I want to attempt to tame the house.
You want to attempt to tame the house.
Yes, it is half chicken.
It is at least, in appearance, half chicken. Let's see. Let me pull up the stat block.
No. You're laughing. This is exactly how Kaimana is thinking about this.
No. I'm but I'm laughing because it's like it's both stupid and brilliant at the same time. It is absolutely Kaimana. So
it is technically a construct, but so I will let you roll an Arcana check to see if this is something that's possible to break into the construct that has a very unique tie to Baba Yaga.
Okay. So a high Arcana check would be I find out whether this is even possible.
Yeah.
A low is I'm dumb enough to attempt it anyway.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. Either way, we're about to have a fun turn. That's an 11.
With an 11, Kaimana is probably aware enough of the situation to think not that this can't be tamed, but that it probably has a very close connection to its owner who's not far away. And separating, a pet chicken from its beloved owner, you've experienced this on the island, can be quite difficult.
Kaimana has no idea what you're talking about, and he swore never to mention that incident again.
Yes.
No.
All right. So in that case, instead of taming it,
Okay.
I'm going to use the rope I've got up there.
Okay.
And I am going to attempt to steer the hut.
Okay. So go ahead and make an attack roll just to see, because the last time you tried to throw the rope over the chimney, it failed.
Yes.
So go ahead and try that again to see if you can get the rope over the chimney.
All right. 13.
Okay, we'll say that's enough to get the rope over the chimney. And then it's so you're trying to yank it one way or the other.
Yes.
So this will be a contested strength check, but since you have a rope around it, I'll give you advantage on the roll.
Thank you. Yes. The way I'm picturing is he's dangling off of one side.
Yeah.
And trying to overbalance the hut, basically.
Okay.
So as soon as it counteracts to one side, so he's like a little pendulum swinging around it. Okay, so with advantage, a 2 roll.
Yep.
No, not that one. 18.
That, since I rolled a 11 plus 6, 17, that is a success.
Yes.
So you kind of are tied off on one side, and you kind of use your full weight to run across the roof and then leap off to the side and just pull down. And it's not so much your strength as it is the counterbalancing of the weight that kind of yanks the house to the side. And we'll say for the next round, the house kind of falls prone over onto the side before it can stand itself back up.
Yeah, woohoo!
All right, which I will carry that through its turn, so it'll still be considered prone after its turn.
Thank you.
All right, good. Juridan.
Okay. I'm looking at I turn and look at this dragon.
Okay.
I
It
think-
is about 55 feet away from you.
All right, we're fireballing this thing.
All right, so dropping a fireball. That is a dex
This
saving
is 5th level. Dex save of 18, please.
Okay, that is a failure. Baba Yaga is going to use her last legendary action to resist, but you still get half damage.
Fuck you, Baba Yaga. Rolled. Stop jiggling. Just make in the roll. Okay. 31, so half of 31.
Half of 31, so that is 15 points of damage. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, 15 points of damage to the dragon Yaga.
And I get extra attack from my thing last time. My wild magic did that.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. That's a 5th level.
Yeah. I see it goes off. And then I have extra lightning bolt attack or something is what I got last
To something
time?
within 10 feet of you.
Okay,
Currently,
okay.
there's nothing within 10 feet of you.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay.
your wild magic does not go off there.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
All right.
I don't have any
Do you wanna
bardic
move it all?
inspiration left.
Do you want to move at all, Jury? Or stay where you are?
I don't want to get the ire of this dragon. I'll chill here.
Okay, you're going to chill there. All right, so that takes us to Baba Yaga, who is eyeing down the line here.
Oh no, not the cone.
Yeah.
Okay, I need everyone except for Saurus and Kaimana to make intelligence saving throws.
Ooh.
I'm good
my
at this.
God.
This never happened.
Oh.
But you're rolling on D&D Beyond, so it's a counterbalance.
Okay, but it was a 9, so it was better than the 2s that I kept rolling.
That is
okay.
true. Yeah,
19 for Abel.
that's a success.
18 for jury.
That's a success.
A 16.
That's a failure.
Oh my god! Why would you pause so long?
I had to check.
give me hope?
I had to check the Aramon stat block.
Does Aryan have
Oh,
any-
Ariane does. Yes, that is a failure for Ariane. That is a really weird success for Mort, who has
Let's go, Mort. Let's
he has
go.
a +1 to intelligence and rolled a 19.
Let's go, Mort.
He's so
Well, he's
low
co-
to the ground
Yeah.
that he just kind of like skirted over him.
He is so cowardly. He's able to dodge.
Right.
He was just expecting something like this to happen, so he was prepared for it.
Okay. So as the dragon kind of swings back, and Baba Yaga is like, just leave me alone. I just don't want to go back into the book. This energy is building up in the mouth, and you see this purplish energy that seems like crackling with this weird, almost like lightning type energy building up in the mouth, and then it releases in this massive cone. And you all have fought dragons before, and so you've dealt with dragon breath. But this is the first time you ever fought a violet dragon, and the breath washes over you, but it's not something that assaults your body. It instead, because Metasansi is the god of the brain, it assaults your mind. And so Marlo, Arian, take 47 points of psychic damage.
47.
That's hey, Josh. That's homophobic, but okay.
If you succeeded, then you take whatever that is, 23 points of psychic damage.
You know what? Still
What the hell
homophobic.
is wrong with you?
Still homophobic.
Arian is still up, but not doing great.
Hey, gang, let's let the Baba Yaga just kill people here.
Yeah, and with that, the Baba Yaga is going to fly her full movement off the screen, and is so Soros, you turn around and see this full dragon flying off towards the house. Abel, at your feet, you do see the object that fell from the house. All right,
Can I know what it is?
You can once it's your turn. You can fly down and check
sure.
that. The house, Baba Yaga's house, is going to. Let's see if it's hop recharges, which it does. So it's
It
going
has to stand up because it's prone.
Oh, that's right. So it can't hop this turn. So it'll hop on the next turn, but its hop did recharge.
Trust it. Get it ready for the oven.
All right. So it's gonna try. It's just gonna kick you, Saurus, twice. With its feet, or like the rooster claw, whatever it is, trying to scratch you off its. The first one's gonna miss. The second one is a 23 to hit.
Ooh, just barely.
Okay. Let's see where my. All right. That is 27 points of bludgeon or piercing damage as like it kicks down at you with its claw, trying to scrape you off. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw for me, Soros.
Strength. Oh, this is gonna be a straight roll. No, actually, I get a bonus because that's one of my chosen ones. That is a 19.
So it tries to claw you off, and you just kind of like you get hit by the initial, and you slide down a little bit, and then like on a pole, you swing around to the side, and then shimmy back up a little bit, and you manage to hold on to the chicken leg. Chicken leg. Okay. All right. And then the hut is spending this turn, kind of trying to right itself. It's still considered prone until it gets back to Kaimana's turn. All right, Arian is going to take off running as much as that direction. Mort, who's not looking too good, stands up and then goes and runs and hides behind this tree. And starts like wrapping bandages around his head, which his head hurts. So, and then, all right, Abel, that takes us back to you, Abel. Abel. Ryan.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Infusing my. I think I'm gonna focus on the dragon.
You don't want to investigate the object at the feet?
Oh yeah, that's an action, right?
Yes, it would be an action to
I would investigate the object that fell, so I'll swoop down, I guess, and.
All right, so you
the object that
kind
fell.
of fly down to where the object fell, and what you see below you is a book, fairly kind of like 300-page tome, beautiful cover. It's flipped over on the kind of the pages are open, but it's down, so you can see the cover, and it has Virgin Meadows written on it. When you pick up the book and open it, you see an illustration, and in this illustration you see the main character Fabian standing with like his hair like drawn, blowing in the wind, and just like hanging off of him like Princess Leia on Luke Skywalker in the A New Hope poster. You see Hildy in the book. And so like you just see this illustration on the page that is there.
Okay, I will pick up the book and tuck it safely in my robes to keep it with me.
Okay.
I'm now under the assumption that when they were banished to the story world, so we have to keep that safe. And now with the book safe in my possession, I want to take another shot at the dragon.
Okay. It is faster. It's about 60 feet away from you, but you can go ahead and make your shot at that.
Yeah, I got 120 range with this ballista.
Do it.
Josh, I sent you a message.
26 to hit.
That hits.
And 24 force damage plus a D8 arcane firearm. Ooh, it's an 8 out of D8.
Oh,
Nice.
So
Nice.
32 damage
32
altogether.
points of damage to the dragon. As you are firing off, you watch as the beam hits the dragon, and the dragon's form like collapses into a point where the beam hits, and then it snaps back, and then you just see Baba Yaga kind of floating there in space, in a giant mortar and pestle. She's kind of standing in the mortar, and she's holding the pestle as like a steering stick almost as she's flying there. She is transformed back into her form as you ate through the dragon's hit points.
So she's basically on a Disney ride.
Yes, she's on the teacup ride at Disneyland. All right. So then that takes us to Saurus, on the leg of the hut.
I am in poor health, so I am going to beat the crap out of this chicken leg.
Okay, go ahead. Make your 3 attacks.
Basically, I'm trying to break the chicken leg.
All right.
First attack is 26.
That'll hit.
Oh, by the way, since Kaiman is technically on the other side of the chicken, does this give me advantage?
I think you have advantage because the chicken is prone.
Okay, so that gives me sneak attack damage.
Yes.
Okay, and I've got the gloves on, so that's 1, 2, 3, 46. Crappy rolls. That's 16 damage.
Okay.
Second attack is another 26.
That hits.
And 14 damage.
Okay.
Flurry of blows.
All right, 2 more.
21.
21. Let's see. Does have shared spell casting, is gonna throw up a shield, and so you see like around the chicken leg, you just feel this energy kind of shoot from Baba Yaga, who's floating above you, and it hits the house, and it encompasses the house. The 21 bounces off.
Okay. And 27.
27 will hit though.
This.
You bounce off the shield and then come back with a second strike, shattering through the shield right into the leg.
Oh, that is good. 19.
How do you take out Baba Yaga's hut?
Let's go. Kick that hut's
I
ass.
basically just snap the chicken leg in half and start beating the house with the chicken leg.
All right, so you snap the chicken leg. The whole house, which had been trying to right itself, snaps up onto one of the legs, and as you're hitting with the other chicken leg, that other chicken leg can't compensate for the weight of the house, and it buckles under the house, and the whole house tumbles over, flipping over onto the top. Make a dexterity saving throw, Kaimana.
Oh boy.
No.
6.
Kaimana, the house rolls over and you're trying to shimmy out of the way, and you kind of get pinned for a second underneath the house, and you take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And then the house continues to roll, and then it settles, and you find yourself trapped inside of the upside down chimney of the house. It like rolls over on top of you, and you're now like in this dark space, and you can see like the fire above you, and like the cinders of the fire are beginning to start like raining down the chimney in your direction.
It just doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't.
welcome
just,
to the.
It doesn't just dump the coals, embers, and logs on me immediately.
Well, all this happens like in a, like we're in bullet time battle.
Okay, so I have enough time to look up and see my impending fiery
you're like,
death.
oh no.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome to the Poseidon adventure.
There you go. All right. Marlo, that takes us to you.
Alright, I'm gonna give D&D Beyond one more goddamn chance to hit
No.
this dragon.
Yes.
I can get to the dragon, right?
What is your full movement?
My full movement, I just got 30.
So
But I can do 60.
the dragon shifted about 30 feet away from you and then flew. So if you want to catch up to the dragon where the dragon is at the house,
So just bonus action dash.
you can take that full. Yeah, you can take a full bonus action dash and your movement, and then you would still have your action for 2 attacks.
Okay, then I'll do that.
That'll take you off of this battle map here, but you are at the dragon at the house.
Okay, thank God. That's a 22,
That hits. Which it's now Baba Yaga. It's not the dragon, so it's fine. Yep.
and that's a 23.
That hits as well.
Okay. Okay, so that's 15 points of lightning damage on the first one with 15 slashing damage with 5 points of lightning damage on the first one.
20.
And then for the second one, that is 9 points of slashing damage with 3 points of lightning damage.
Okay. Sweet. Cool. So you slash out twice. Baba Yaga, in her mortar and pestle, she tries to dodge out of the way, but both of your strikes kind of make connection with her weird, elongated body.
I'm just gonna go. You wouldn't have to do this if you would just not eat people.
And she's like, "So are you saying there's not a chance we could talk about this?"
Okay.
No.
Well, now hold on. Can we talk about this? I put down my sword for a second.
She kind of lowers her staff as she's making eye contact with her house, which is currently upside down.
Okay, so I'm going to end this turn by lowering my swords and
Okay. All right.
seeing if we can negotiate out with Baba Yaga.
Okay. She takes note of that. Kaimana, as you kind of right yourself and you're in the dark, you're like, oh, it's dark. It's suddenly getting brighter.
All right, so Josh,
Yeah.
when the house fell, was there any kind of damage at all to the chimney? I assume a house falling on a chimney would cause some kind of...
It would if it weren't a magical house. Like this is an entity, and while the chimney is a chimney, it is also part of the house. It is part of this construct.
Just like small little gap in the mortar I could possibly see out of.
Yeah, we'll say. I mean, like even in the construction of it, there's probably a gap in the mortar.
Okay,
go ahead,
so I can see outside.
go ahead and make a perception check for me, please. As you watch these embers beginning to rain down in your direction.
Natural 20.
Okay, yeah. So you're starting to feel the initial singeing of some of the embers, but you know, like the mass of them are about to make contact with you. You do see like there's a small like chink in the side of the mortar there that you can see outside of. Mhm.
I misty step outside the house.
All right, cool. So Kaimana, you pop out of the house just as the embers collapse down at the base of the chimney, and you see like weird like smoke is beginning to pour out of like open windows in the door instead of out of the chimney inside the house. All right, so that's your bonus action. Anything you want to do with your action, Kaimana?
Can I see Saurus?
Saurus is, he's kind of off to your side about 10 feet or so, 15 feet or so.
Holding a giant chicken leg.
Holding a chicken leg.
And he looks real beat up, right?
He does, yeah.
Is Baba Yaga within any distance of him?
Baba Yaga is flying about 25 feet to the right and about 15 or 20 feet in the air above Saurus.
All right, I am going to cast Healing Word on Saurus at 3rd level.
Okay, go ahead and roll those D4.
10 points.
All right, Saurus,
Thank
you regain
you.
10 hit points. Good. Juridan, that takes us to you as the bulk of the battle has now moved about 60 feet away from you.
I feel like I roll up on the kind of Mars situation that's happening with Baba Yaga.
Okay, so you use your full movement to go that way. I'm going to shift things, and I'm going to pull, since most of you are now here, I'm going to shift the battle here. All right, so Kaimana, you are down here. Saurus, you're standing over here with the chicken leg. Jordan, you're rolling up on this side over here. Baba Yaga, I don't have a Baba Yaga. Let's see. I'm gonna use this guy here. She's flying here. And
it looks like someone's cleaning their aquarium.
And then Marlo, you're flying up here near Baba Yaga.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Jury, you kind of roll in to this.
I see this negotiation of sorts starting to happen. I'm gonna be like, Mrs. Baba Yaga, please listen to us, and I'm gonna roll good persuasion or something.
Okay, go ahead and roll persuasion.
Can I help because I've put down my swords and started this?
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll with advantage, especially because Baba Yaga is open to discussion.
Wow.
What is? Hold on. 15, that is 28.
28. Okay. So Baba Yaga kind of looks in your direction, and you can see the aggressive nature kind of diminishing a little bit. To be fair, Baba Yaga was responding to a threat. And the sign that some of you are kind of backing off the threat, she's also backing off. She's a little bothered by the person down below her swinging around a chicken leg. But other than that, she seems in a more calm place, which takes us to Baba Yaga. And she's like, okay, so I see we're all in a calmer position. Can we talk about this? And you see she's beginning to cast, a spell is beginning to build up in her hands, and energy is bouncing from the orb on her staff over to her hand and back. Or are we going to continue this?
Well, don't cast. Don't cast. I've got my hands off my sword, so don't do the magic that you're doing, please. That makes me nervous. It makes me want to pull out my sword.
She kind of looks down. What about the one that broke my house?
Saurus,
he will apologize.
Yep, he will.
Will you apologize?
I look at you. I
put the chicken leg down. I'm sorry I broke your house.
You see the spell kind of fizzle and vanish as the energy is absorbed back into the staff, and she puts it down. She uses her turn not to take any actions. The hut is out of commission.
I'm gonna very surreptitiously kind of put the chicken leg back up against where I broke it off, like
a Mr. Potato Head, trying to pop it back in.
you put it up there and it just falls back down.
Oh, no.
All right. Arian is running up to this as well, and so eventually kind of catches up to where you all are. Hildy and Mort are out. Abel, you're seeing in the distance as your teammates are kind of quieting. They you notice purposely Jury didn't make any attacks in the last round. Marlo's standing with her swords down. You're a little bit out of earshot, so you haven't heard this conversation going on, but what are you doing?
Going to fly over with my jetpack and land next to my compatriots here.
Okay, so you land here next to Jordan.
What is going on?
We're trying to be chill with the Baba Yaga. We're exploring the possibility.
So she's surrendered?
Mrs. Baba Yaga and we are talking terms.
Baba Yaga never surrenders.
No one surrendered. It's just a
hanging out.
Just having a shot.
Well, if we are coming to a truce, perhaps Miss Yaga can end the spell that put our librarian friend into this book.
Oh.
And I opened it up to show
all right.
the image of Hildy.
All right. Is anyone going to go after some kind of aggressive maneuver on your next turns?
No.
No, it's things. We seem to have moved into a new phase.
We're mature.
I am just keeping my hand on my instrument though. Like I'm not putting my instrument down.
For sure. All right. So with that in mind, let me go ahead and switch over windows. So we'll take a quick 5 minutes as I switch over windows, and we head into our negotiation period.
Thank you,
Thank you, Five.
Thank you,
Five. Shortly.
Right. So as you all are here, the wreckage of Baba Yaga's hut, it's just overturned there before you, and Baba Yaga kind of in her mortar and pestle floating above. She lowers down to the ground and then kind of like lifts herself out and is like walking, and you realize like she has maybe more legs than she should. Perhaps it's difficult to tell underneath her cloak, but you keep seeing feet shifting, and it's like that's 2 right feet. But eventually she gets over to the house and she begins to kind of like cast, and you see this energy kind of wash over the house, and parts of it begin to kind of knit itself back together. And she's like, this is gonna take this is like a day to repair all of this. Just hoodlums coming around, just messing everything. All right, so I'm glad we all decided to calm down. I don't know why you wanted to drop a bomb in my house, but here we are. So what can I do for you?
So the murder thing, the people killing.
I didn't kill anybody. I mean, I stabbed him in the gut. He was bleeding.
Right. So the almost people killing is not great.
And the children.
Well, I wasn't going to do anything. I just needed like the essence of children's fear for a spell.
So the ethics of that aren't great, I'm going to be honest. What was wrong with your world? Why did you want to leave that?
Well, I take it you all are not from around here. You were traveling with a librarian, so you're probably from the outside. When you're in your own book, you're kind of locked into the story that was already written for you. When I managed to uncontain myself from the book, I realized I had a little bit more free will. And to be honest, I liked that. I don't want to go back because the story doesn't end well for me. The stories never end well for people who look like me. So I just, just wanted to live out here in the woods, do some magic.
What if we rewrote the ending of your book?
I think you'd have to find the author to do that, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
What if you could, and I hear me out, I don't know if this is possible, there's going to be a librarian question, and, because of someone, she happens to not be with us right now. But if you promise to be cool and not stab men in the gut and scare children, if we could take you to our world.
Leave the library?
Are we sure about
that? I have a plan.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Does anyone want to help me? Anyone want to back me up?
I will back Mara up. I trust Mara.
I will not, because that sounds crazy.
I've seen the Moriarty holodeck episodes of TNG. I know how this shit plays out.
No, I will absolutely back Marlo up on this because
listen, you guys don't want the Baba Yaga indebted to us? Come on. You guys
no, you're right.
Josh, quick question. Can I make a roll to see if I know who Baba Yaga is and if I think they're a real person in our world?
You can. A natural 20! Yes.
And I rolled on Google and not TNT.
Kaimana, you can. Yeah, sure.
All right, so what would that be?
That would be just a history check.
All right.
Nice.
3.
I mean, you've never heard of Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga doesn't pop up in any of the stories that are told within the Lutrinian community. So you're not sure.
Yeah, it's fine. So Atwood's concern is that the real Baba Yaga is going to get pissed that we put like a competitor into reality.
Oh no!
But Kaimana's like, I don't know who this is. Sure.
Now, I mean, if anybody else is thinking about that, they can roll a history check. Source wouldn't know. Jury absolutely
maybe.
would not know.
Mm-hmm. I never read anything.
But
Dad wouldn't let me.
Abel and Marlo, you could roll if you wanted to.
Sure.
I'm not going to back down from this no matter what I roll, just so everyone knows.
No, I'm with.
History
Oh, no,
or-
I rolled
It would be history. Okay.
I'm committed to this path.
Yeah. You're not sure, Marlo. It's not something that you remember studying.
I don't think Mars even thinking about that right
Yeah.
now, to be honest. So.
Abel
I
history.
got a 28. So.
Abel, as like they're kind of talking, this has been in the back of your head the whole time, is that you always thought that Baba Yaga was a fictional character, that you'd read books about Baba Yaga, but there are stories about a character named Baba Yaga who happens to inhabit the twilight realm of the Feywild. So it's like the realm of the Feywild between the Summer Court and the Night Court. So she's kind of in like the DMZ of the zones, and and is a neutral character within the Feywild. Doesn't lean towards chaos, doesn't lean towards the more kind order of the Summer Court, is kind of in the middle, and definitely operates on a very like what is good for Baba Yaga is good for Baba Yaga kind of mentality. Mm-hmm.
Hey, and we're closed off from the Feywild right now, so no problem.
Yeah, no, this is fine.
Dude, who cares?
Yeah,
What's good for Baba Yaga could apply to other Baba Yagas. You know what I'm saying?
In the
I'm not
earbud,
coming
I
to the
will
prime
relay
material
this to
plane.
Marlo.
You stay there, I'll stay here. We're both good.
Okay.
The Baba Yaga is a union now.
That's-
Baba Yaga chapter 39.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves shows up.
So Abel does relay that to you, Marlo. Yeah.
Great. I'm going to take that and keep going.
All right. Baba Yaga, she says, well, I think if you can find a way to bring a book out of the library, then that could potentially be a way to free me.
I'm willing to do that on the condition that there is a very specific place you need to go and a very specific job that I need you to take.
Oh my god.
Oh, what?
This is
So
great.
there's an adventurers guild in a place called Broadfield, right? And there are two spellcasters there. One is a wizard, or essentially like a witch, something like yourself, and one does other kinds of magic, more like healing, but it could be similar. So I was thinking that maybe they could help you find. You guys could collaborate, and maybe they could help you find spells that aren't as oriented towards blood and the fear of children.
Is there a local witch already in this area, or is this something I could, create a lucrative business?
It's not really. I don't really think it's like that necessarily.
It's at the edge of a great deep forest where things live and that people don't go. So
I know the protectors of the forest it's just like for werewolves. I could hook you up with them so that you guys would all be cool. Do you like spiders?
I love spiders.
Oh,
so many
yes. You could be this thing we call a boss babe in this place.
She said, well, I mean, I think that would be great. But you have to get the book out of the library.
Right.
Would
Which
we
is
have to
the
get
tough part.
would we have to get the whole book or just the page you're on?
I think that there's it's like a collection of fairy tales that you read to children at night, the ones that are filled with like people's brains getting like sucked out of the ears and like women like in iron shoes like dancing until they drop to death. Like good stories for small children. I'm in a small chapter of that, so you'd probably need the whole chapter.
I'm wondering, because if you could do to yourself what you did to Hildy, and you were trapped on a single page, then it'd be much easier to get a single page out, I would think. And then you could spell ends, you could bring yourself out of that page.
How do I know you're not just trying to trap me back in my book?
Because if we wanted to do that, we would have finished you off and not talked to you.
You're looking pretty beat up there, Rat.
Also, well, here's to consider. I was
standing, your house wasn't.
I'm somewhat of a fae, and we can make deals, right? So you could make a deal with me.
I would love to make a deal with you.
Yeah, fae deals are like binding.
100%.
Jury is bullshitting so hard right now. He does not know what the binding of the deal is.
All of Baba Yaga's attention, the moment you mentioned making a deal with Baba Yaga, is now like laser focused on you.
Yes. I'm looking at Mara like, is this a good thing I'm doing? We could make a deal with you.
Okay. So
they've made deals before.
So I put myself back in the book, you sneak me out of the library, and then release me.
Yeah.
I want the middle C key from your voice.
The what? The huh? The middle C, that is commonly used, ma'am. I don't think that is like an unused note.
Permanently, or just as exchange until you're let out?
For a year.
For a year? Just for a year? Oh yeah, fuck yeah, I take the deal. I don't give a shit about that.
Extends like a hand or a wrist, like where the wrist joint is a solid like 2 feet back from the end of the hand. Wrists out the hand to you and shakes. And the moment you shake, you feel this energy kind of wash through you, and you feel this binding magic, Jury, kind of go up your hand, and then it also courses up Baba Yaga's, and then there are 2 vines that just appear where the magic was, and one wraps around your wrist and one wraps around Baba Yaga's.
Oh, this is the second dumbest deal I've ever fucking taken. Oh shit. I say that to myself. Great.
Fantastic. And when she says everyone, she kind of sings songs fantastic. When you hear her say the fan, it's Jury's voice singing fantastic in that middle C.
That's not creepy at all.
Well.
Cool.
Well, my hut will have to come with us. So she kind of is reaching up, and you see she casts this spell, and the hut like shrinks down to about palm size, and she puts it in her pouch. And then she kind of takes her walking stick and she says, well, we have to find the book.
Yep. Do you know what it's called at all?
I don't know the full title.
But it would be in like the kids' fairy tale section, okay.
No, this was one that they was lost, which is why I was able to escape, which means it would be in the section where lost books go.
They have a section where they put the lost ones?
If I understand the library well enough, when books are lost for a long enough time, they just find their way there.
Okay.
This fucking library is so cryptic.
What'd you say, Abel? You're muted. What'd you say, Ronnie? You're muted?
He says nothing.
Oh, okay.
We should not mention this to the librarian when she comes back.
Yeah, I think she's gonna be pretty upset about that.
No, we just, if we time it right, we'll have Baba Yaga back in her book, and we can say we won the battle, and the battle concluded, and Baba Yaga is back in her book, which is the truth.
It is true.
I mean, technically, we just don't mention it, and I mean, could we just take a nap in the library, guys, and just grab it? Is that how it works?
We have to find this lost book section.
Any of you are able to scry?
I'm on it. He's got the bowl.
Okay. Here. You with all the fancy stuff. Will you give me that book?
Sure. Yeah.
So you hand over Virgin Meadows to her, and she kind of takes the book for a second and focuses on it, and the book just vanishes from her hand, like disappears from existence.
What did you do with the book?
I lost it.
Our librarian was in there. Oh. I get it. Okay.
So time on, I can try and find it.
Nice.
So if you scry on that book, my furry friend, then we should be able to kind of pinpoint the location of the lost books section.
And then you will free the archivist, correct?
Yeah.
Insight check.
Go ahead.
Yes. It's been a long time since I insight checked this Baba Yaga.
It's been a whole session.
It has been a whole session since I insight checked the Baba Yaga. That's a 6, so it automatically bumps, so that's an 18.
Oh, nice.
So
I can't roll lower than an 18
no,
on insight.
you don't get the sense that Baba Yaga is lying about doing that, but there is something about the way she said it that was a little like...
Sus?
Yeah.
All right, let's set a little... when exactly are you going to release the archivist and the fictional man?
So I might not be able to do that here. We might need to go to the end, where all of the books are destroyed in the eventuality. And there, in that chaotic realm, my powers would be more able to bring something out of the book. There's like a safeguard that prevents book characters from, pulling things out of books themselves. It's the fear of small children that somehow helped me uncontain myself. But I don't know if I have the energy here to uncontain someone else.
I mean, what other choice do we have, I guess?
Yeah, right?
Jesus. There could have been a primer maybe before I had to give up. By the way, I Googled it. The most commonly used note in singing
is the C major.
Yeah, bud.
Shit.
Just do some dirges for a year.
Middle C.
It's not a voice.
Anyway.
The thing is, Drew doesn't really care that much about musicality, really, in general. So it's very funny to me. He's like, whatever.
Just sing Adam Levine songs.
I don't think we got enough out of this deal to justify that, but we'll come back to that point later, maybe.
Or the
Kind
instrumental.
of just fade it.
It's just your voice, it's not like you're forbidden from ever playing it.
No, but it's me singing it. I mean, that's a huge part of the fucking bard deal, Atwood. It's not exactly.
Use your low range.
Anyway, Jerry's a twink. He doesn't have a low range anyway.
Use your high range.
Anyway.
All right.
Sure. Let's go find this book.
So Kamada, she kind of looks in your direction and says, so if you scry on that book, we might be able to find a path that would lead us to the lost section.
All right, I'll get.
We could get lost ourselves, but that might take a while.
I'll get the bowl out.
Okay.
And
Hell yeah, brother.
The ball, let's go.
It does say a bowl. It doesn't say what kind of bowl.
Yeah,
Crying in the bong water.
it says a font filled with holy water. It specifies.
I mean,
Font is
bong water can be holy water.
Bong's a 4-letter
Holy
word.
shit,
Font is a
dude.
whole
Can you
4-letter
imagine
word.
getting water blessed and smoking it? That shit would be so lit.
Josh, would it be too uncouth to retrofit and say that he just has 1,000 gold point bong that he uses?
Sure. Sure.
And has no idea that it's a bong.
Yeah, absolutely. That is fine.
No, he still just looks in the water.
Yeah. That is perfectly okay. All right.
It's got like a desiccated peach in there. Like,
all right. So there's no, so because you just recently saw the book, you are very familiar with it. This is not something that you are, there's no kind of save on it. So you focus, you cast the spell. Everyone you watch as Kamana's eyes kind of flash that green light. But those of you who are paying close enough attention, you see just on the edges of it, almost like the black edging around a picture, a vignette of black energy at the corners of Kaimana's eyes, with this green light coming through that. And all of the greenery and plants around him begin to kind of blossom and grow as this spell goes. And staring into the bong water, Kaimana, you feel your spirit kind of lifted up out of your body. And it flies down a forest path and then kind of up and around a beautiful white deer with many more points than a deer should have on its horns, kind of leaps over as you fly underneath. And then you kind of turn and you get to an archway of trees. And just as you're going through the archway, you see a symbol above the arch. You can make a perception check.
16.
Okay. As you're looking at it, you see there is a symbol of that. It's very odd and strange. It kind of looks like a timeline, but then it has like a jagged portion and then just an infinite number of branching timelines that break off from that is the symbol. And it's like it's interwoven within the tree branches. You pass through this arch and suddenly you're in a place. And here there's metal walls surrounding you with weird lighting on the edges. And you find yourself kind of traveling down these tunnels that open up into these large octagonal rooms. And then you kind of follow this around through a path and you get to another doorway, which just opens naturally as you approach. There's a symbol above that one. Go ahead and roll another perception check.
We really need to have like Kaimana bring a friend on these sometimes. Like,
No.
There we go. That's a 26.
A 26. This one, you see a symbol that looks like a cliff that has broken off at the end and is falling into nothingness. And you kind of burst through that one and you find yourself on a long open plain of dusty land with just ash or dust flying beneath you at your feet, and you see like maybe the bones of animals or creatures kind of at your feet. But off to the side, you see just an endless chasm where this world is being eaten by what appears to be just a swirling black void or hole in space. But you swerve away from that and then down into a cavern system where you find your vision stops at a doorway that has an owl look on the door frame. And then you go through that and you see yourself and you're just like in a dusty like warehouse, and your vision floats up, and at the top of one of the shelves in this dusty warehouse, you see the not dusty, clean and fresh volume of the Virgin Meadows. And then your vision flies backwards through this journey, and you arrive back in your body and reconnect. The plant life around you diminishes and withers a little bit. Your vision clears, and you are back in this space.
Found it. I'll explain real quick. About how long did that take as far as like...
It's so just, I mean, flying through it in your vision, it's hard to tell how fast you're traveling. Because there's certain parts where you're kind of zipping and then it would slow down as it approached like these gateways. But you feel like it might be a couple hours journey through through all of that.
Okay. Yeah, I'll relate as best I can the directions to it.
Okay. And I just want to ask the Baba Yaga one more thing before we leave.
Yeah.
Why did you stab Fabian?
Oh, so really interesting spell. It's difficult to kind of communicate what it does, but you need the blood of a young man in heat. And he is a romance novel character, so he's always in heat.
He's always hot. He is always
and
hot.
So and fresh in the throes of love. But quite specifically in love with who he thinks is one person, but actually is in love with someone else.
Oh God, that's so specific.
Real specific. Sometimes magic requires real specific things.
Not my magic. Mine's like piece of cloth. That's pretty easy.
Which is magic, different,
Okay. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Did you finish the spell?
Oh, no. Hey, my rat friend, there was a bowl underneath the gentleman. Did you happen to knock it over, or is that still there?
I don't believe I knocked the bowl over.
Oh, okay. She kind of like looks up.
I just stood him up. So.
She like whistles for a second, and you just see like this bird fly out of a nearby tree, and she kind of looks at it for a second, and then... I mean, turning over a new leaf doesn't mean I gotta turn it over now, right?
No, it does.
Wait, how dangerous is
super
the spell?
does.
What does the spell do?
So, yeah. No, it does.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You can walk to get a bowl.
Like, does the spell do something good?
I mean, define good.
You can define it by telling me what it does, and then I will let you know.
We'll just leave it. It's fine.
Okay, yeah, let's just leave it. Based on how this conversation is going, let's leave the bowl.
All right.
Bye, bird.
That bird's neck.
Bye, bird. Your services aren't needed. Goodbye.
The bird flies away. All right. So you all begin your path. Now, do you want to take a short rest here and regain any help?
Okay, short rest to get the shit out of me.
Okay.
I will do a very awkward song of rest, given I don't have one very commonly used note.
Yeah, you can all add a D10. Is it a D10 or is it a D8?
Oh, I don't know what they are.
I don't know if that increases with your bardic dice or not.
Hold on, let me see. That's under my feet, I think?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what's on the sheet. No, that's not the right fucking button. Beats. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Song of Rest is a D8 still.
Okay, D8. You all may roll a D8 and add it to your health pool. Whatever you roll, if it's above a 1, subtract 1 from it. As your song is not as strong as it usually is.
Ugh. That sucks.
Well, since I'd already burnt some hit die earlier, not quite to full strength.
Yeah, I can't. I
but I'm better than I was.
Baba Yaga, while you're doing that, just kind of conjures a kettle, or not a kettle, a cauldron in front of her, and she's kind of stirring it. I mean, I could help out a little bit with that if you know.
Hit dice. What am I doing?
Now, what does the spell you want to do entail?
Oh, it's just this potion.
What's in the potion, Baba Yaga?
Snips and snails and puppy dog tails.
All right, that sounds good to me. Me and the Baba Yaga are fucking tight.
Oh Lord.
She fucked me over so
Good
bad.
enough,
I don't
I
even
guess.
Okay.
I'm immune to poison, so sure.
There you go. So she kind of takes a ladle and offers you a ladle, Marlo. You regain 7 additional hit points.
Ooh, I want a
Saurus,
sip of that.
you regain 7 additional hit points. Kaimana, 6 additional hit points. Anybody else taking Baba Yaga's?
I'll take one.
Okay. Jury, 5 additional hit points.
Beautiful. I'm up gold. Thank you, Baba
Arian's
Yaga.
also going to do
I'll
that.
try some.
7 additional hit points for Arian and 8 additional hit points for Abel.
Okay.
I'm up to 53 out of 72.
Baba Yaga takes a sip herself, and then you see she takes out the hut and she just like dips the hut into the potion and then puts it back into her satchel. All right, you're our guide here, little furry friend. So are you ready to go?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. So Kamana, you're leading the way. So go ahead and make a survival check to recall the path and follow the path.
Is
back to
Mort
the
coming
woods.
with us, or are we
Yeah,
leaving him
Mort.
here?
Do you want to take Mort with you or leave him in the woods?
I'm gonna pick Mort up, trying to wake him up because I just assume he's been crouched in fear this whole time.
He fell asleep. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah, okay.
nice.
Oh.
So I'm gonna stand him up and just brush the dirt off his shoulders. Like,
Thank you.
hey, Mort.
Thank you. There was a fucking dragon.
Yep.
I'm gonna
You
turn
cracked
around
the
and go,
case.
hey, Baba Yaga, did you do this one? Why is he here?
Baba Yaga kind of turns. Oh no, he's just another uncontained fiction.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna grab his shoulders again and go, hey, bud, I think you should just
Holy
maybe
crap.
walk back where you came from.
I think we can say case closed on this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good work,
Yeah, we
partner.
all
You
said
really
that.
solved it on this one.
Look,
Well-
if you
well
ever
done.
if you ever need to come to the big city and need a job, y'all don't look me up. I can't pay you.
All right.
Yeah,
go.
well, you did a lot in a fight, so yep.
I appreciate your honesty.
Mhm.
You're a good man, Gumshoe.
He flips. He kind of looks in your direction, Saurus, and kind of takes something out of a pouch and flips it in your direction. And you see this like black and white bullet flying through the air, like flipping in your direction. You kind of snatch it out and catch it. Immediately turns in color in your hand, but it is cold to the touch.
Okay.
Don't know what it does, but you have a bullet
Ooh.
from Mort in your hand.
Ah, that's so cool.
Special bullet.
Special bullet.
From a cartoon character.
There's no telling. This could be awesome.
Oh my god, just like a perfect hole goes through them and they look through it and you
Ah.
can see the other side.
If you frame Roger Rabbit bullet.
I was about to say, what if it's the Who Afraid Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So you all kind of pick up your things. Mort trudges off out of the woods in the opposite direction, tilts his hat to all of you as he heads off.
Mort.
Cigarette constantly going in his hands.
Mort was like the tuxedo mask of this campaign.
Mark,
We didn't do
Mark,
anything.
could you help me a little bit because I don't know which way's north underwater.
Yeah, I can help you.
Thank you.
All right, you can roll with advantage. Come on.
I'm gonna lean down and whisper in your ear. Do you think directions change when you go further up or down?
I can't see the sun.
Okay.
That's normally
fair.
That's normally how I tell.
I guess. I mean, we're in a
I
different
can't see
world.
this. I
That's
can't see
fair.
the sun or stars.
Oh,
I got a 24 and a 26.
sorry. I don't mean to intrude, but you can't. You gotta. Okay, you need the sun. Okay. Well, hey guys. She kind of looks up and claps, and you all see those menacing trees that had been surrounding this area of Baba Yaga's hut, kind of like rise up on their roots, like, oh, excuse me, and all of the trees move out of the way, and sunlight pours into this part of the forest, and so you have a clear vision of the sun and the sky, Kaimana. And with your roll, you're able to guide the group through the woods following that path, and you head out to towards that first pathway. Go ahead and make a perception check, Kaimana, if you're leading the pack, or if somebody else wants to make perception, you may as well.
I'm assisting Kaimana.
Okay, go ahead and roll with advantage, Kaimana.
That's good because I got a 15.
All right, so as you're kind of making your way through, you eventually leave like the sallow portion of the forest and you go back into kind of the more fairy tale forest instead of horror fairy tale forest. And you kind of discover this relatively unburdened path. And what catches your eye as you're walking down here is you see kind of off into the woods, going behind trees and walking, the beautiful white fur and massive horns of that hare that you picked up on earlier, the large deer that was making its way through the forest. But you keep moving through. And you come around a bend, you find you get to kind of a clearing where there are paths going off in multiple directions. And at the point that the paths leave this clearing, at every single one, you see an arch of trees that have symbols on them. And if you remember which symbol to look for here, then you can easily locate the correct one. But each one of these, there's 5 different paths that break off here, and they all have symbols above the arches.
It's the one with the divot.
Oh, the timeline one. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you're looking kind of through, and you see one. You see one that kind of seems familiar from a room that you've already been to. You kind of look around, and then you get to the third one. You're like, oh, this one has the right one. And so you kind of approach up to it. And as you're approaching it, like you're walking up to it, it looks just like you'd walk through, and then there's more forest on the other side. But the closer you get to it, the forest beyond this arch begins to fade away into darkness until where you're standing, Kaimana, you're staring at an arch of tree limbs that is just a darkened space beyond. Everyone else who's further back, it looks like Kaimana is just standing in front of a path that goes off deeper into the woods. Kaimana, do you pass through the arch?
I will turn to the group and say, it's this one, let's go.
Okay. And so
I follow.
So you all watch Kaimana just like walk up to the tree path, and then he just vanishes. And then each of you kind of experiences that same path as you cross through. And then you find yourself in a section of the library that is incredibly unfamiliar to all of you. In the sense of its construction doesn't make any sense. You're looking at a long hallway, these lights up at the top that are dimly kind of pulsing, but they don't seem to have it's not torches, it's not magical lights. There's just these strips of lights that go along the ceiling. The walls here are slightly kind of like octagonal, or like the sides of octagons, and then they meet up at the top and the bottom and to form the hallway. And there are windows every 15 feet or so in this hallway. The floor is some kind of metal that has an odd like cross pattern of raised portions on it. The wall itself seems to be smooth metal, but every now and then there's these large rivets of other metals. This is something that you can't imagine being constructed in any realm of possibility within Alyria. But as you're walking down the hallway, the part of it that makes it the most unconceivable is when you look out the window. The world that this is on seems alien in nature. A large expanse of like rocky, whitish gray terrain, a black sky that is filled with stars in all directions. The part that is probably the most disconcerting is in the sky. Off to the right window, you see a large floating bluish green orb in the sky that has white clouds floating across it. Beyond your perception of what this could possibly be. For our player characters, you're on a space station on the
I was about to
moon.
say, are we on Moon Base Alpha?
Yeah, you're in a moon base, and you kind of travel down, and you arrive in this octagonal structure room at the end of the hallway, and then there are other hallways that branch off from this octagonal structure. In this octagonal building is where you find there are just rows and rows and rows and rows of tubes, and each tube has writing on the side of it. And you realize that this must be the books for this section. If anyone wants to investigate the books that are located here to try to figure out what section of the library you all are in.
I would investigate,
yeah.
I would like to as well.
Yeah, go. Anybody who wants to roll investigation check. You have all explored the complete biography section. You've explored the apocryphal section, and you've explored the magic and divine section. So this would have to be either future histories, end times, or the science and technology section.
I rolled a 0, so I'm enraptured with the really fucked up moon in the
You
sky.
rolled a 0?
I think I
He's
rolled
got a
20.
negative.
A 2?
I got a 21.
Did you say?
26.
Oh, 26. Okay. So Abel and Marlo, as you are exploring the titles of books on the shelves here, you see books like A World Post-Subversion 2. You see a title like An Exploration of the Outer Lands in the Years to Follow. You see titles like The Collapsing of the Terrace Honor. These are all events and things that have never happened. So you get the impression that you are perhaps in the future histories section of the library.
This is where I should have dropped an Nuncio if I had.
I don't think we should be in this section. I think this section is very scary. I would like to leave this section now.
You do have one book that needs to be reshelved here. The Fall of Anervir 1.93.b.
Anavir?
The Fall of Anervir
Yeah.
1.93.b. Yeah.
The collapsing of the Terrace Honor literally means that, like, the veil takes over the world and everything ends.
Yeah.
Which is super cool.
Yep. Future. Let's see. Yeah, that's good. All right. So, Saurus. So with Abel and Marlo exploring the area and high enough rolls, they would have found a whole section of this room that has Fall of Anervir titles. There's one space where a tube is missing. So you've got a book in your hand, but there's a tube here, and there seems to be no translation between the two. How do you reshelve this book?
I try and just slot it in and assume that the magic will make it happen.
Okay, so you go ahead and take the book and kind of put it up to the slot where that is. Go ahead and make a charisma saving throw for me, please.
Charisma.
Guys, the Baba Yaga can
Nat
read
20.
2 books.
So that's 22.
22. So that is fine. So as you are going, you want, like, there's a moment where it's like the book is almost calling out to you, like it wants to be read. But you shrug that aside and you slide the book up. The moment you release it, you see like this pneumatic tubing fall down into the space around the book and then shrink down to match the size of the slot. And a scrawl of script appears on the side that says The Fall of Anervir 1.93.b. And you hear this like hissing, like click as it locks into place. And this close, Saurus, it's really weird because the book is no longer like a book in a tube. What you see inside the tube is like this weird liquid that kind of like bubbles a little bit, and you can swear that there's like an embryo or something, like a small creature floating in the tube. Like the spirit of the book is there inside the tube.
Yeah, not going there, so move on.
All right. Anybody would like to explore the future histories books?
I'm kind of like, is there anything around here about the Fey realm? Anything as we're like browsing around?
Go ahead and make an investigation check, Jerry.
Okay, thank you.
Haven't you read all of your books, Jordan?
The Baba Yaga can read 2 books.
When I'm investigating, do I see, is this all like very general based like events? like what we're seeing, or is there any like hyper specific things?
So with the role that you have, there's nothing that's specific to any people. All of this seems to be like the collective history of the world itself.
Right.
So there are very specific things like the fall of Anarvir, incredibly specific to one area of the world.
Right.
That's about as specific as the texts seem to get, is like regionally specific. There are some that seem to potentially encompass the world as a whole, but regional specificity is what you can find.
Do any of them say the fall of the veil?
The fall of the veil? Go ahead and make an investigation check, Source. Jury, what was your investigation?
I got a 12.
A 12. Jury, you find only one, like there's probably other texts here, but you find one that says you think it is Fae related just by the title and what you know of the Fae, which is called The Outcome of the War of Suns and Moons.
Hey, Baba Yaga, can you read this for me? Can you like pick this up and choose this as a book to read?
22, Josh.
22. Okay. I mean, why do I give a shit about Wars and Moons?
Well, because I already used my 2 books, and look, you took a lot from me, so I think I should get like an added benefit.
We made a deal.
We did make a deal.
We give and take.
I didn't get a ton of stuff out of this deal. I'm realizing it's not.
I mean.
So I feel like in good faith, you should maybe, you know, I thought we had something like a fun friendship angle here.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. The Baba Yaga. I keep saying Babadook in my head.
Babadook. The Baba Yaga is now wearing a top hat.
I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos to reroll.
Gay icon, the Baba Yaga.
The Baba
Yaga. Didn't roll that much better, but wait, I forget I'm a bard. I'm amazing. What does this end up as? You said persuasion?
Yes.
I'm okay at that. I got a 15.
Okay. She kind of reaches out with her long fingers, touches the tube for a second. This one here?
Yeah. That one.
She flicks it off of the thing and it falls into her hand. And you hear a psss hissing sound as the capsule unlocks. And then it expands, and then the capsule vanishes, and a book plops out into her hand, and she just kind of opens it and is flipping through. Oh, interesting.
Anything pertinent in there? You know, about like potentially if it was bad to close the Feywild off, that was a bad decision someone made.
Oh, this doesn't mention the Feywild being closed off at all. This is this one seems to have been written a little while ago, maybe a year or so, and it looks like there's this one fairy lady who is bright and beautiful and sunny, and she was there was an attempted assassination against her by these like little guys.
Okay.
They traced the assassination attempt back to another fairy lady who's like wind, and isn't actually like a body. It's just wind.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And so then there was a war between these two courts.
All right. Skip ahead a little bit past that. We got that part.
She kind of grabs half the book and then just flips.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's.
I'm getting my Yahoo News version of what's happening.
There's apparently like this hot fairy guy, and he's fighting against this other fairy guy who's like in icy armor on a horseback. The fairy guy dies. But I mean, does he? Do fairies die? Can I die?
Look, I don't know.
Look, I'm a book. Can I die?
What does it say after that?
Not as long as there's one in print somewhere.
She kind of flips forward a little bit. It says, the war ends in a peace treaty.
Is she lying to me?
Make a
Insight check.
insight check. Yeah.
Fuck. Insight's not my greatest skill. I got 16.
She seems like there's something that was left out.
And
it doesn't go well for you, I mean, it works out fine for the Feywild.
but for everyone else?
I mean, it depends. Like, do mortals like to have access to magic? Do mortals like to, have like a life? If they want those things, then it probably doesn't turn out so great for them.
Oh fuck! Oh god! Now I'm having those dying thoughts.
A lot of the battle seems to move into the material world.
Oh, those fuckers! I'm not yelling about the Fae. Those selfish motherfuckers.
It seems I don't have any concept of time or place. Could you tell me, like, what does the world look like right now?
Yeah, it will. Right now, it's at that part. I point back to where she first opened it. It's at that part.
Okay, well, this part says, okay, the assassination. So somebody made an assassination attempt against the Sunny.
No. Well, yes, that part.
Okay,
I
cool.
guess that's why they're having the war. Whatever.
Okay, but this doesn't say anything about the world being closed off.
Yeah, that is a more recent development, but...
Oh, well, maybe if it's closed off, then the war can't break out into this space.
Oh, so potentially that was an incredibly good thing someone did. Say with a straight face.
Maybe.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know. It seems like you have... I mean, you have, is this a personal thing for you?
I now roll deception against the Baba Yaga. I never thought I'd roll so many things against the Baba Yaga.
Try to deceive the Baba Yaga.
Never thought I'd roll so much in this game against Baba Yaga. I rolled a shit ton. Hold on. She's probably good at this. I got 23, I think.
You beat her 22.
Oh, shit. I'm I'm just, writing a song about stuff and
don't put any C keys on it.
I am forced to nod. Very minor key now. I feel like that fits the vibe. Yeah.
Well, quite interesting. She kind of pushes the book up into the space and it reabsorbs back into its tube.
Perfect. I just want everyone to acknowledge that Jerry has found out a way to read 5 books in the library, which is such a bard thing, and I love it.
All right. Anyone else in the future history? So, Soros, you were looking for
the Fall of the Veil
with your 22. So what you do find, there's a whole section on the veil within the library. And that was one of the titles that Marlowe found, was the Fall of the Terra Sonor was in this section. You do find one that specifically says victory in the second subversion, which you think implies, because the first subversion was the veil's approach. A victory in the second one might mean the withdrawal of the veil. Is that a title that you would like to read?
Nope.
Okay.
Just wanted to see if it was a possibility.
Yeah, there are other books around that imply that this future is still very much up in the air.
Just knowing that it's a possibility is good enough for me.
Okay. All right.
I'm saving my reads for something else.
All right. Abel, Kaimana, anything in the future histories?
I mean,
are there any?
Didn't find it. My investigation roll was.
Oh, you're so distracted by what you think is the moon in the sky, Kaimana, but you're looking at Alyria. Abel,
I'm just why is it blue and green?
Yeah.
Why has it got this white stuff all over it?
Are there any books mentioning Nuavia in the title?
Go ahead and make an investigation check. Anybody else who looked out there, Marlowe's smart enough probably to realize that maybe if this is a moon, then you're probably looking at a planet. That this version of Alyria has no veil.
Wait a minute. Do I feel a connection to this moon?
Make a religion check.
Oh God, we're on the moon.
Marvy gets a werewolf.
She's got the ring.
Dude, I'm sorry, werewolf on trapped in a space station with a werewolf is such a good.
Is it always a full moon?
That is a Doctor Who episode.
Is it always a full moon?
Is it really?
Let's look at the full case, which is me and my pirate girlfriend trapped in the space. It sounds like a Chuck Tingle novel.
Motherfuckers like,
Oh my
Natural
God,
20,
fucking
nice. So Mar.
I'm telling you, Mar has incredible luck.
Yeah.
Mar is my best rolling
So
character
good.
of all time.
So
TBR just fucking hates me.
you can't.
Well, it hates you and Ronnie.
Yeah. You can't see the sun, which is good because if you could see the sun, then you'd be standing on the surface of a full moon.
Wow.
But as you kind of focus on that like religious connection, like without even thinking about it, suddenly you feel like the weight in your right hand of your blade drawing and like the dripping of seawater. And you close your eyes for a moment and it's like the endless sea that you always find yourself resting on when you're in a dream with Naginda. Like this is Suvanar's moon. This is Selenal. Like you're on the face of the Changebringer.
Oh.
And out of the two moons, is this the one that my werewolf lunar cycle runs off, or is it the other one?
It's this one.
Oh.
All right, at this stage, Kaimana is going to notice that what everybody else is by now it's realized is Alyria.
Yeah.
To him, the weird fucked up moon.
Yeah.
Is full.
Yeah.
And he's gonna say, "We gotta get Mara out of here. That funky green and blue moon is full."
Oh no.
Mara is meditating and having a like religious and existential like experience in the corner for a minute.
All right.
So if you want to bother her, you can, but she's gonna be doing that while y'all are reading
Me and
books.
Baba Yaga are like standing off to the side and we're like, do you think we should talk to her? No, give her a minute.
No, I think in these moments, sometimes it's okay for someone to sit in their thoughts.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes I get like that and I'll stay sitting in my thoughts for like 100 years.
Is there?
That sounds great.
You okay, Mar? You feeling all right? You're not feeling fuzzy, are you?
Josh, I'm gonna try something. And I this might be insane.
Okay.
And you may be like, you fool, this would never work.
Okay.
I want to try to fall asleep right now, but I want to see if I can reach out to Naginda because I'm so close to something that is a tie to Supanar.
Okay. So as Abel is looking for a book on Nuevia and everyone else is kind of looking around, you find a corner of this octagonal space. And there are like in the sides of the building, like as you're exploring, you do discover that there are these weird like pods that are circular shaped and the lower half of them are padded. So they're like reading nooks or reading pods. So you climb up into one and you kind of lean back into it and it's ergonomically beautifully fitted for a human body. And you kind of lay back to go to sleep. Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw for me, please. Yes. Okay. Abel, you're looking for books on Nuevia. What was your investigation check roll?
24.
24. Yeah, you find a section of the library which is on Nuevia. Interestingly, this is the first section that you guys have come across where you find a couple of the books that are like the vials that are shattered. One of the ones that you see here is called The Fall of Nuevia. And that book is that tube is shattered, like it doesn't exist anymore. If you go to pull that book out, if you go to pull that tube out, when you pull the tube out, the tube crumbles in your hand and no book appears. And Baba Yaga goes, that one's lost. It's gone. So that is something that you get the sense from your intelligence and your knowledge of the world in general, that was a future history that is no longer a future history.
Let's fucking go.
That's so
We
sick.
saved Nuevia.
Literally saved Nuevia.
Yeah.
None of these books are written in stone. These could change.
There are 3 book titles that stand out to you in this section, Abel. The first is the Golden Army Order of Nuevia. The second is the Principalities of the Free Cities, with like a colon and then Nuevia. And then the third is the Face of Democracy in Nuevia.
Let's fucking go.
I want to read the Democracy.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Come on, dude. Why spoil the election for yourself? Let the people figure it out.
No, be nosy. I love being nosy. I support
Those free cities, though, man. Because that implies. I'll do the free cities is really piquing Abel's interest.
Okay, so you
are a free city. You're a free flying city.
You take out the Free Cities book.
Yes, it says free cities, though. That's what
the tube opens, and the book appears in your hand, and you begin to flip through it, and it outlines at the beginning of this book how in the New World Order of things, that Nuevia has formed a partnership with the other free cities. And now the free cities now are operating as, rather than individual like bastions,
city-states.
They're operating as one central unified city-state that basically has control of the skies. And they're all working together in that sense. As you're reading it, the part where you may or may not throw the book down is it mentions High Archon Abel Abioye.
Yo, let's go.
It's probably not good to know too much about your own future.
Okay.
And I think I'll leave it there.
Okay. But what it does seem is that the overarching goal of this version of a future Nuevia is a partnership that brings about peace and a partnership that brings about a spread and a sharing of knowledge for the world as a whole. And so it seems like the cities, using their ability to transverse areas, are going to different areas of Alyria and are helping to rebuild or replenish crops or teaching them new technologies and that kind of thing. It does mention the defeat of a clown prince Kefkan in order to bring about the control of the city of Cirrus, which is now in this version of the history under the control of one Penelope Mistweaver or Persephone Mistweaver.
Ooh.
A clown prince.
Kefkan is a name you are familiar with.
Yes.
He is he's like the leader of the merchant class of the clown giants, and not the clown giants.
You gotta stick with the clown.
They're clown giants now, Josh. That's what makes this an alternate history.
This turned into a horror story real quick.
Killer clowns from outer space. No, the cloud giants. He's the one that he's like apparently crazy, and no one can really tell what side he's on. He seems to be like playing both sides, but he's the one whose followers all wear those Harlequin masks. Mm-hmm.
The one that tried to kidnap Soros.
He tried to kidnap Soros. One of the followers tried to kidnap Soros. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I remember now.
Yep.
She was hot. Yep.
She had to lean back.
She was so
Usually
hot.
are.
All right. So, Marlo, it takes you a moment, but as Abel's in the corner kind of reading, and as everyone else is grabbing books and reading and things, and Kaimon is worriedly staring at the moon, you fall into a slumber. And you feel your body kind of like leave, or your spirit or whatever, leave the confines of your body. And you take a step and then another one. And it's like your eyes are closed, but it's like walking on a dirt path that's long been absent of rain, where the dusty dirt, you sink into it. It's not sand, but it's just a deep dirt, like a desert dirt. And you're taking those steps. But when you open your eyes, finally, you're looking out at a horizon of white expanse and gray rocky expanse. And the dirt at your feet is kind of kicking up and kind of rising around you before it slowly falls to a settle in this lower gravity space of where you are walking, which is on the surface of the moon of Seleno. And you look up, and directly above you is the massive expanse of the disk of this part of Alyria that you can see. And you just see the swirling oceans and clouds, the domains of Suvanar there. And you just kind of watch as like one of those clouds begins to move abnormally fast across the surface of the planet until it takes into the form of this serpentine dragon. And then it finally kind of flies out of the planet and flies up to the surface of the moon and lands in front of you. Well, this is different. You called to me this time.
Hi.
Hi.
I kind of just wanted to see if that would work. I'm like almost on the moon right now.
I think, not the real one.
No, I don't know. I'm getting really confused about the dream world and the fictional world, and there's a lot to unpack here that I'm just not ready to grapple today. Hi, how are you?
A little lost in time. This is a potential history. He kind of looks off to the side, and Marlo, you see like where he's looking, there's a structure or something on the surface of the moon out of sight a little bit. Cylindrical in shape, with a pointed nose, like a weird painting on the side of it, letters that you can't really read, and it's just kind of collapsed into the dirt a little bit.
Do I know if there's supposed to be stuff on the moon, or is that like?
I mean, as you're thinking that, it's Naginda who answers.
Okay.
This is a potential future where Illyrians do find their way here. We're far in the future, though.
Oh. Wow. Okay. Can I like go walk over to like what that is and see if there's like any like language or objects?
Yeah. As you're thinking that, he says, he kind of looks at you for a moment, and then he blinks, and like time passes almost in an instant, and you find yourself there. Like you've walked there, but it was like he accelerated the time for you. And you're looking again, it's this tall, I mean, it's massive now that you're close enough to it, this massive cylindrical structure that rises up. There's a few smaller structures around that have kind of thin, spindly legs with these pods that are sitting on top of them, all metallic in structure. There is a painting on the side. It is a square painting shape that has like a flag potential designation or something like that on it. And then there are words, and they are they're written in the common alphabet, but the language is a little strange or weird to you. Some of the words don't make sense. But you do see the part that you do make out is the the ASS Alyria is the part that you do make out.
The Alyria.
Oh shit!
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Damn it! In my head, I went, "What is it called? What is the space agency called?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's the
No,
ISS."
that's what they would call it in Illyria. 100%.
No, they would.
Yeah.
They are pretentious enough to do that
Yeah.
and not think about it.
Crowd members
can I-
ass.
Can I see where, like, the world is from where we are standing right now?
Yeah, I mean it's like directly above you, basically. Mhm. And you're looking at it. You can now the clouds kind of clear a little bit in spaces. You can make out like the continent of Alyria that you've always grown to know, like looking at maps. But
Yeah.
this world doesn't possess a veil, so there's more land masses around it that you've never seen before.
So there isn't a veil at all in this future.
Not in this one. Mhm.
I think this would be a really cool feature to have happen.
If I know the curator of the library well, I think he only builds beautiful ones. Too bad we don't always carry those out.
Yeah. Well, in the library, obviously, very close. Yeah, I'm coming.
Okay. Well, danger's still close, but in the library, I think.
Sorry?
Was there another outside of the dream there?
Is he? Sorry, my brain right now.
That's okay.
Is he reprencing Terrell Dimwalla?
Yeah, someone who's wasn't part of the dream initially.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. Yes, it's one of Armand's.
She is lost. But lost things all find their way somewhere.
So if I was in the lost section of the library right now, would you say that was a good thing or a bad thing?
Some things never escape from the lost section.
Okay. You know, I feel like we're close enough now that I can say when you say things, sometimes when you say stuff like that, that makes me feel anxious and upset and weird things vaguely and threateningly. So just in the future, I would just appreciate a little more. Like, if you're going to say something like that, maybe follow it up with, like, and you got it, champ, or just something. I don't know.
He says, in my experience, if you are lost, it is possible to always be found. But if you choose to get lost, then you can always find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Easy for
Was
a
that
to say.
was that more helpful?
You know, I think it was.
Okay. Well,
Thank you. I guess I'm gonna try to wake up now.
he kind of reaches out with a claw and just like lion turtle in Avatar to your forehead. And you just feel this energy like wash over you for a second and you feel very rested. And then you wake back up in that pod in the library structure. All right. Anybody else?
Oh, I just walked back over the group like nothing happened. Just see if I can play it off.
Yeah.
Mine was trying to get you
You're
to
kind of
move.
glowing right now in the moonlight.
Oh yeah, I just took. Just had it. I got to talk to Naginda this time. Usually it's him talking at me. I got to talk to him.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Shows you have more control than you thought, eh?
He definitely said that someone, probably Tyrell Dimwalla, is close, maybe in the lost section. I don't know. He just said she was lost, and then he said And then he said a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to unpack for days, but that's beyond the point.
Do you want to listen while we are there and perhaps get some answers from her?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, my guess is she's running through, because we found her asleep, my guess is she's doing the same thing as us and trying to speed run this through the dream world.
I have a theory about this.
Okay.
I've been thinking about how 27 years ago, supposedly, Aruman came here. But we know that he didn't because the tide bonds weren't found and the thing was sealed. And no one's been able to say how he appeared and how he disappeared. We know that this world is a parallel realm or something, so I'm wondering if Aruman somehow stumbled onto here either plane walking or dream walking. And he was able to get in and read the book, but he had to memorize it. He couldn't take it with him because it was a dreamscape. And so that's when he went back to our world 27 years ago and started making the Divine Rebus. And now that he's progressed enough where he needs Nagina, he needs to get in for real. And so that's why he needed us to get the time bonds. But he needed us to help trigger the trap of the dream world and sent Zimwala in to try and break through the system. Basically, we were to go in and be a distraction. If we could get through, great, it opens the way. But sending Dimwala in with full knowledge of what she was getting into, with her to slide into the library using his library card to be able to try and get through to beat us there.
It's either that
that's
or
why he hasn't come down. He sent her instead because he doesn't want to get trapped in the dream world.
Well, it's either that or Dimwala's after what he's really after, and we've been red herringed.
I think he's trying to play and win both. And I'm also terrified that if we wake the world up, that he's going to get Athenor to recruit Athenor to go to work for him, whether he gets the book or not, because Athenor's been, and I'm assuming that Athenor was put on the trail of the Divine Rebus by Aruman 27 years ago, and that's why he's refined things. And so...
Well, the thing is, if we wake up the city, this whole place is probably gonna... This is a divination. Sorry, Baba Yaga, this is a lot to take in. This is a divination.
I'm a book,
Yeah,
I mean, so...
Yeah, so the thing is, I think part of this is we wake up the city, all this goes bye-bye. Probably, most likely.
But Dimwala will still be around.
Dishwalla? I'm on my way to see her.
Will still be around, so we're going, and like I said, when that happens, we need to prevent Athenor from meeting up with Aruman.
Yeah, because the person who wrote not only the how-to guide on how to build the Divine Rebus, but also the updated version. The only thing Aruman doesn't have is Athenor.
Athenor, absolutely.
And based off of our encounter with him, well, I have plans.
Plans you're gonna have to run by the council, Soros.
Baba Yaga kind of leans in. I thought we were talking ethics here.
Listen, Soros is
There's
a little...
a time and a place for everything, and this is not one of them.
I like this one.
Okay, we break a few eggs every now and then, Baba Yaga, but on the whole, we're trying to be morally good. You understand?
You gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet.
Soros.
Not all the eggs.
I am going to run it by you, Marla.
I love that. I trust that it won't involve murder.
Soros.
I hate you. I hate you so much. Come on.
Soros.
No, okay.
I know that look.
Soros, look at this. Do you want to be like Baba Yaga?
We'll discuss it later. This is not the time and the place. We've got a while to go before that happens, so I need to think on it more.
Think on it and think
Hold on.
what kind of person you want to be, Saurus.
Can I roll stealth real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I rolled a 30.
Okay, which
What I
is
would like to do
everyone's passive
is I
perception.
would like to turn to Saurus and just nod. And in a way that perhaps he's reminded of the lady having
Yes.
No.
Oh no, trust me. That's why I want to discuss it
Incredible.
later. It's going to be via messenger where no one can see us mouthing the words, so there's no risk of mouth breathing. But
it very much was more being like, I hope it's not murder, but if it's got to be murder,
it could happen to a nicer guy. If you're gonna murder, this is the guy to do it to.
Yep. Yeah.
Person. Yes.
All right. So if you all are finished in the future history section, Kaimana can guide you to the next section of the library. Do you remember the symbol you're looking for here, Kaimana?
I'm sure Kaimana does.
Cliff with the tree, the cliff thing.
The cliff with it was collapsing into nothingness.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
That would stand out.
Oh, that's waiting for Godot shit, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
The amount of times I've said the word nothing and heard other people say it today, brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Were there at least some good auditions?
Absolutely. Yeah, we can talk more about it for sure.
Good. Kamana, you guide everyone to these doors, and you get to the where the door is, and it's like really weird because there's no doorknobs, there's nothing. But as you approach, the door just opens, and there is the nothingness beyond you that you're familiar with now is transporting from one section of the library to the next. And you walk through, and you find yourself on an endless, dusty plain of ash and dust, the sky choked with clouds, ash kind of raining down from the clouds. Immediately, your foot hits like a bone or something on the ground. You kick it a little bit, and as you kick, the bone like rises up out of the dust and then becomes a book. And it has like a title on it that says The End of All Things. As other people are kind of coming into the space and you're all seeing it around, many of you kind of notice this plane before you in the sky, but you feel this endless wind pulling in one direction. And when you follow the vision of the direction of the wind to the side, you see that this world is being eaten by an endless swirling mass of dark energy, like a hole in space that is surrounded by the swirling mass of everything falling into it. And every now and then you'll just see like bones kind of lifted up out of the dust, and a book appears where the bones were, and then the bones kind of the book flutters away in the wind and then hits out and then just vanishes over the edge and swirls around into the blackness of the hole. You get this. I
vote we don't go that way.
You get the sense from this and the title of books that are popping up around you that you are in the End Times section.
We don't need to stay here, right? We can just go. We can go. We can
Right,
go.
yeah, yeah.
No, this is where we get Hildy out of the book, remember?
Baba Yaga says, yeah, this is, the energies here are quite strong. And you also have a book that has to be reshelved here, The Primal Future.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just whip it right at the hole?
Now, can I look at Baba Yaga?
Mm-hmm.
How would you feel about a little more light reading?
She holds out her spindly fingers.
I hold out Primal Future.
I like the energy of this space.
Yeah, this one's gonna. I think this one's probably gonna be really.
She kind of, it's like, I mean, if you couldn't get me out, I could just set the hut up over there. And she like points at nothing. Like there's no like discernible landmarks. But she's just like, I could set the hut up over there. like
that's the choice spot.
Like that's the choice spot.
I love her.
I mean, if you want, wherever you want to set up.
No, we made a deal.
Baba
I
Yaga,
understand.
do you go by Baba Yaga? Is that like a title? Is that your like name?
Can we call you BY?
I mean,
Can I call you
Baba.
Babs?
Baba.
Babs.
There was a gentleman who called me Babs for, a couple centuries. He's a frog now. Not because he called me Babs, for other reasons.
Okay, sure.
But I like Babs. Babs is
You like
nice.
Babs?
Babs is great. Yeah.
Babs is great.
Babs.
Thank you, Babs.
So she takes the book and she opens it and she's kind of reading through. Oh, I don't like this one.
Okay, cool.
She kind of, after she peruses, she hands it back in your direction. The title, Primal Futures in Flux, implies that there are potentials for a group of entities called the Primals. A few of these potential futures that it discusses are about people who finally find a way to banish them for good from this plane of existence and bring about a peaceful, non-chaotic future.
What is that group called?
Oh, it's difficult to see. It seems like it's adherents of the Empyreans.
Okay.
Which is not I don't know what that means.
I don't either. That's great.
But then there's another group who, for reasons of, there's some kind of void of power in the structure of the cosmos. Like, are the gods dead?
Skip that question. We'll come back to it.
Okay, well, there's a void of power, and there's an organization that feels like perhaps, I don't know, that the primals were the original gods here, and that the world should be theirs again, and they are released.
Cool.
It does seem to be quite distant in the future. I have no concept of time.
How do they get released? Is it like through the veil? Is it just through gaining power slowly?
This looks like it's through desecration of the usurpers' lands.
Do you want to expand on that, or is that
so there are entities within this organization that find nexus points of power where like temple structures dedicated to gods who this implies are no longer with us, and at each of those temple structure points, like it's associated with like water, air, fire, earth, and they manage to use those nexus energies to create a pathway for entities to escape a prison.
Okay. What is that? Okay, so we have the adherents of the Empyreans, and then what was the group that was trying to open the path?
They didn't seem to have a group name, but they called themselves Eidolons.
Eidolons?
Or Eidolans.
Eidolans.
EIDOLAN.
Thank you. I so often need the spelling of things. It's really nice that you would just put that up front for me.
Well, I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, but
you're fine. Thank you.
Thanks, Bess.
The gods are dead. But not
shit.
all of them.
Okay.
Just one's in timeout and one's asleep.
Look, that space over there, that space over there, looking so much better. But we gotta free a friend, and then finish your little. Does this need to go back? Do you take this? What do you want this?
Yeah, I will put this back.
Okay, and then you need to shelve it. So
Charisma.
saving throw and shelving a book here is how the books are bones in the dirt.
I'm gonna stand by
Tamar,
in case
this is better
Mar
than the
starts to
space
get sucked.
station.
Pardon?
Yeah. What Baba has told you, it's clear that as a book character, Baba doesn't have a full access of range and knowledge of the world, and you just think that if you were to read the book, you would gain a better understanding.
Oh no.
So Soros, you're watching closely as Mar takes the book back and then begins the process of getting ready to open it. Okay. Go ahead and make an attack roll, Soros.
Natural 19.
Okay, that will hit. So Mar, you feel Soros hit you, and the book fly briefly out of your hand. Are you going to struggle against him to get back to the book?
No.
Okay, so the disconnection from the book kind of clears your mind, and as the book hits the ground, it like falls a little bit and dust covers it, and you just watch as where the book was, a femur appears and slowly gets covered by dust and ash.
Wow.
Thanks, Soros. When I get out of here, I don't want to look at another book for a month.
All right.
Fair enough.
Okay. And so Bobby is kind of sitting there. She says, well, we need to remember that this location is here because I need the book. But if we can get back here, this is where I can release her from the book. I can feel that energy enough to do that.
Okay.
So, leading us on to our final location then.
Josh, can I make like a mark in the dirt and then like kind of like use that to like track where we're going maybe so I can like help like navigate us back to this point? I don't know if that's going to stay in place.
Sure. The wind is constant, so it's a little difficult. If you think that if you have anything that you could leave behind, that might be a little bit easier.
Drive like a
Ooh, I do think I have.
If you have pipe.
I stick a torch in.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a torch. It's blowing in the wind. You feel like it's eventually going to go out, but you do have a torch that's stuck in the ground here.
I feel like I can.
Have to light it.
I feel like I can Hansel and Gretel this somehow.
Okay.
That didn't work out great for them. Hold on.
Fine.
I don't want to use that metaphor.
A sensitive topic.
Soros rescued them from the cave.
We definitely left them in that cave.
No, Soros let them out with Fabian. Yeah.
They just ran home.
Yeah.
I will. Oh, I have some ball bearings. Can I just like?
Yeah, sure. You can leave ball bearings in the dirt. So as Kaiman is leading you all towards away from the ravenous black hole in space, deeper into the end time section, with the lost book section ahead of you, you all still have one more section that you need to go to reshelve a book to get your passport. But you have to retrieve this text with the knowledge that there might be someone waiting in the lost section for you. We'll go ahead and pick up there next week.
Yay.
Thank you next week.
Yay!
Yeah.
When you said the ravenous thing, I instantly thought of the bug bladder beast of Troll, who, while being incredibly ravenous, is incredibly stupid. So that's why you have your towel, because if it thinks that if you can't see it, it can't see
you. Yep.